Alright, see if we can close out this month with a win. I think we actually ended up positive. I think probably net 3R for the month. Something like that. It was a bit of a rough month though, for sure. Yeah, so we do get a bit of news in about 45 minutes, so kinda gotta get it done before then. How's everyone's morning been? Morning, afternoon, evening, depending on where you are. Yeah, I feel you on that one. I'm pretty tired myself. So looking at this month, it wasn't that bad. So we did have this like rough patch right here, but overall we did pretty well. Once we get past this little rough patch here, we kind of been cruising, only taking one loss. So we did okay this month. Looking at it. Oh. My bad about the chart. I forgot to hit share. But yeah, so looking at this month, yeah, it was a little bit rough, but overall it was green. It wasn't too bad. We did get a breakout. We are not aligned with VWAP. This is why we didn't get a breakout signal. I mean, you could enter on this one, but it's kind of up to you. Yeah, I'm not really liking this. On the wrong side of VWAP. Hey, we got 40 minutes until there's a speech. There's a couple ways you can do it. Like for this, I guess for like this example, so one of the key, I guess, factors for a valid breakout is to be on the right side of VWAP. So you have to be aligned with VWAP. So since VWAP is underneath us and the breakout happened, a breakout won't trigger. That's kind of like one of the core components. But other than that, I mean, you could still take a trade. If it wasn't aligned, it kind of like statistically the odds are not in your favor. But you can use trend. You can use like, you know, like to see if that aligns with what the trend is. Obviously this is showing bearish because it's going with the overall trend on a higher time frame. But that's kind of like the one key factor that the indicator looks at. So I guess, like, you know, for this example, we would be looking for buys unless we get past VWAP. That makes sense? So like, for example, we were aligned with VWAP when this breakout happened, so the breakout was valid and we were looking for sells. Only time, like, doesn't really get tricky. I'll show you real quick. Okay, so like when we're like flat with like VWAP's flat, you know, that's when you can get like a breakout to either side, since like, you know, VWAP's like kind of in the middle of it. Let me show you like a good example. Okay, so yeah, like here's an example of like we get a breakout to the top side, and then we are not in line with VWAP, so it doesn't align with what we want. Obviously, you could take a breakout this way. Let me see. See if we're aligned with VWAP here again. I'm gonna see like a flat one. Oh, he said like here we weren't aligned with VWAP. Kind of just chopped around. Trying to find where VWAP's like pretty much flat. We broke out on both sides. Okay, so here we go. We got a D setup, so it was still a valid trade. we were aligned with VWAP. Then we broke out through VWAP, closed, and we got another valid trade, which was the B. So that's, I guess you could use that as like kind of like a bias for a valid trade. It always helps to be aligned with VWAP. Like, yeah, you could have taken this trade. I mean, you take it to like previous day low. Definitely could have taken this trade. Like if VWAP was, you know, like up here and we would have closed through it, it would have been a valid trade. Just from the data I've collected, that VWAP is like a key component of helping you find, I wouldn't say just not daily bias, but like valid trades. It's always good to be on the right side of the VWAP. You're not basically walking into like if you're trying to get through VWAP, it's a lot harder sometimes. It can act like a resistance zone, versus if you're cruising with it, it's a lot better. Yeah, so we're probably going to push the previous day low. I mean, if you saw that trade and you thought it was, you know, you thought it was valid, you could definitely do it. I mean, I would have probably just did like, say like the breakout candle, and then maybe like something like this. If I were to take this trade, something either like this. Let's see, what is this? Yeah, like this would have been, or hold on, make sure you get this correct. Something like that would have been good. It depends if you're comfortable taking it. Something like this would have been like a really good trade. Yeah, I mean, like I said, if you saw the trade and you're like, no, I believe in this trade, I think it's gonna work. I mean, you could definitely take this. You could have taken this. Can this definitely work? Of course. We're kind of already heading, I feel like we're kind of heading in an uptrend, and then I mean, go through VWAP. I mean, like we did have a good target of previous day low. Like obviously it's cruising down there already. I'm not really talking about like taking it. I'm just talking about it's a good target. It's more of just an area of interest. Because I mean, like on the 1 hour, you have all these like fair value gaps. So we have like has like I guess like imbalances you could take out. Like there's like a big one on the 4 hour here. So it's tapping into this. So it could come in, do like to this wick, and then pull back up. It depends if this like fair value gap holds. Just kind of depends on what it wants to do. I mean, it's already pushing down. I mean, it's pretty much almost, you know, it's getting there. not saying it's gonna 100% tap this area, but it's pushing down. It just depends if this fair value gap holds. And then see if we hold the VWAP now, since we're underneath it. I mean, so last night, where is it? It was maybe like daily. Yeah, so we came down here. This is where I actually took a trade last night. We came down here, and like it was like I saw like a resistance zone, so we popped up. So then we've been cruising ever since. So I was thinking that we're in a reversal here, like we're gonna reverse trend. But yeah, so right now this fair value gap is, we'll see if it holds. I mean, we came down, shot up, then we wicked pretty hard. Well, yeah, the higher time frames they'll usually have a little more weight, but yeah, the 1 hour and yeah, so they could let her do whatever it wants. I guess it's just maybe looking for like liquidity. Where it wants to go to. Yeah, let's see what price does. If it wants to head back retest or just kind of see what it wants to do. So how does everyone's month been so far? Hope everyone ended up green. A little bit of a choppy month. Alright, we got about 25 minutes for news. So, I don't know if price is gonna move enough for us. Yeah, I used to only, before I made this indicator, I'd pretty much only primarily do my backtesting on FX Replay. It just took forever. That's why I just ended up switching just to backtesting on TradingView. Just so much faster, since everything was just drawn on there for me. But yeah, it helps you get, FX Replay is really good. It helps you like see everything in real time. So I came up, like, for my old strategy, I came up with a lot of the rules. Just kind of backtesting, and figuring out what worked, what didn't work. A couple of ways, I guess. So, I guess like the easiest way, I would say, I would track everything on a Google sheet, basically like an Excel. I used to have like put all the orb sizes and just basically all the information. I made a spreadsheet, just typed everything and everything. I guess the easiest way, like now, what I like would do is like, so this table, you could use this table, you don't have to, but it kind of logs everything for you. So like if you're backtesting, I don't know, say I don't know, just pick whatever date. You know, I'm looking at, oops, what did I pick? MNQ. I don't know why it's coming out of the choppy, but oh, anyway. Oops. I was on the wrong contract to show you. Hold on. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so just go whatever. Like that. Okay. So, just saying, I'll just pick a random place. Wait for the data table to show up real quick. Is price pop up starting to pop back up? So with data like this, hold on. Well, I would show you, but I don't know why it's not popping up. Hold on. Well, anyways, so I was gonna show you the data sheet, but being weird. So yeah, I would just log everything. Just, you know, one loss orb size. That was kind of the easiest way. I would just do it. I mean, you could use like the backtester and it would have everything kind of logged in for you, but that's what I would do. Just kind of go in, whatever the trade was, log it as the grade, you know, all the information. It is a pain in the butt. Yeah, that's how I would pretty much do it. Alright, so we're heading back to Orb, and we got about 19 minutes before news, something like that. I believe in the Discord, I think the backtesting folder, I can show you. I have like an old spreadsheet that I would use. And actually I have I built a spreadsheet where you can log in all the trades, and it has a, what do you call it? It has a win rate built into it, so you can actually see, and then you can filter out trades. So if you're like, it's pretty old, so it isn't like, it's not up to date as like, as what we're using now, like, but you could filter out like orb sizes and stuff in days of the week. But I did come up with this. I don't know if you saw it. I'll show you. So it's still in beta. I'll show you real quick. I think it's this one. Okay. So oh wait, where is it? Oh, here it is. So I did come up with this. You could upload like if you do like a back test, or if you like screenshot your data, or get like a CSV file, which is just pretty easy to do if you're logging in data yourself. What it could do is, like, say you get like a backtesting, like backtest data, or just a CSV file, which is pretty easy to do. You can actually load it into here, and you know, it'll pick up the dates and like the win rate and everything, and it'll analyze it for you, and it'll give you a breakdown. So it tells you like everything, your best day of the week, and all this stuff. It'll give you like a whole breakdown, and you can download the information. This is pretty interesting. So if you are using like the grading system from the indicator, I'll pick it up. It'll pick up that too. So it'll look at all your metrics and everything, your best day of the week, worst week, you know, look at everything, pick up all the grades. So that's something you can also do. It will work with any strategy, or not any strategy, but any backtesting data, or any data you have. Like if you were to get all your trades and log them in, or however you're doing it, and you could get them converted to like a CSV. So trade with FX Replay, you should be able to do it. Get this file. I don't know if it's gonna be in the right format. We could easily get it into the right format to have it be read. I don't know if that would help. Yeah, well, for Nexus, I'm releasing that one today. I just gotta update the link for that one. I put a, you know, it's interesting. It could be helpful. It also has an eval like simulator. So it's like it does like the Monte Carlo. So you can put in the like, kind of like the same thing, like the same backtesting data. I did like last 90 days, and it'll tell you, like, you put in the contracts, what prop firm, and it'll tell you like your odds of passing within X amount of days, like with the trade, like with your setups. Yeah, Nexus is pretty cool. It has a lot of AI stuff into it, built into it. It has like the chart analysis. It has like a news scanner. It can look at flow. It has a built-in journal, and then like the eval and the strategy analyzer. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I used to use Google Sheets to log in all my trades. I mean, with the indicator, you just gotta scan through the day, especially since I added like the letters above the like each setup, so it's like you can scan through it really fast. So it's like, I would say the easiest way to do it. Yeah, about 15 minutes before news, or sorry, before we got a speech here. Kind of made it like, what, halfway down to previous day low, and just kind of reversed. So we're retesting orb. Looks like I got a retest here. Yeah, I get that. There's a lot of I guess like nuance to it, I guess. Yeah, the orb is simple. It's you know, you get a high and a low and a breakout, and then yeah, it's a lot more to it, I guess, to like, yeah, because this is like, so last year, I think, there was like a strategy that I found, and then I kind of like made it a little bit different. It was just a mechanical strategy. It was didn't matter if it broke higher or whatever, it broke out. You would close, and then you would enter, and then, you know, based off that, it would be like a 50-point stop or whatever. But then I like backtested it, and I found little things like entering different places. So I built my other indicator for that strategy. Basically, I evolved the strategy over backtesting, and then when I got to this indicator, I thought I could make it better, and then that's when I like kind of started developing stuff. And then yeah, it took, I don't know, I've been working on this indicator since I don't know, I would say October, or it's from the inception of it, maybe before that. Yeah, it's very, very, very complicated indicator on the inside. I'm pretty much at the limit of what I could push it, how I can push it. Like, I actually had to remove some stuff because it's I guess TradingView thinks it's too complicated. Like the compiler can't compile it anymore. Yeah, it's not like it's not like slapped together either. It's like a lot of time and thinking and errors. I mean, just the P&L system alone took like a month. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, then basically once I got it to work, I had to refine it and go through all the backtesting and data, make sure everything was correct, and then, you know, see what worked, trial and error to get the most consistent. The biggest issue, I think a lot of people, I wouldn't say do this, I'm gonna put everyone in like a little group, but the biggest issue is overfitting. Like, that's the biggest issue, like with these kind of indicators, is like I can make this thing have a 89% win rate, but for like 3-4 months, or like I think I've gotten like even higher. I think I've gotten like in the 90s, but I mean, it limits how much you trade, and then there's a lot of like stipulations, but the numbers look really good. And I didn't want that. I wanted something that's like gonna be robust, that like it's kind of like almost idiot proof at that point. Like if you follow it, you won't make like a lot of money, but you'll make consistent money, and that's what I wanted. I wanted something where it's like I know I can trade any like any period of time, bad, good. You know, it didn't really matter the markets, it would survive. That's why I was like, I got to like 60%. I was like, that's solid for 5 years. Or like over 5 years now. Yeah, I was looking for me. I was looking at the statistical numbers. Like, what are my drawdown, my worst drawdown? What is my worst losing streaks? Those are my things I was concentrating on, not like so much like what numbers look impressive. Because yeah, that's just the biggest thing I've seen for a lot of people. They try to they overfit, and then it just, you do really, really good in certain markets, but then markets you just tank. Like 2023 was, I don't know, for some reason just really hard to get solid, but I finally got it profitable. Like, it's like one of the worst years still, but still profitable. Like overall green, like, you know. Alright, we got news in 5 minutes, so, or not news, sorry, I keep saying news. We got a speech in 5 minutes. So I don't think I'll be trading during that, and I don't know if, just be careful, because I don't know if you have a prop firm, they sometimes don't allow that. we're always in some type of range, unless we're making like all-time highs or all-time lows. That's, you know, we don't really do that often. Usually you can find some type of data point. Even like for like the orb, you don't necessarily need to have the direction always correct to even be like, you know, it's for it to be right. You just need like 100 points on each side. Basically, like the orb, you know, depending on the orb size, it's like, you know, 1 deviation or 2 deviations, like, you know, and just depending. If you go like, you know, like I said, if you go like 100% of the range, that's usually about 100 points. That's all you really need. Like with this strategy, so it kind of just depends. Because we had a trade the other day where we basically hit TP and then price reverse, and that's all we needed. You know, we captured the win. Like, I would say NQ is easier because I used to trade ES, and ES was just so slow. Yeah, I mean, because they're just, well, first of all, Orb is a continuation model. It does really well when it has a continuation, obviously. Like I think 2020 or 2023, I can't remember exactly. There was like no continuation. We just stuck inside Orb. There was like no follow through. It just break one side, break the other side, and just go nowhere for the whole day. But yeah, so it being a continuation model, you know, it really helps. Like if you're like a trailing person, basically, like, you know, TP1 and trail, you know, you don't always catch big moves, but you can catch some 200-300 point, you know, moves. But yeah, like I like to see it as I try to get in, get out kind of thing. Like I don't need to be like, I don't need to catch the whole move. I just need to catch what I need, and just, you know, I'm done. I'm good. I'm not trying to catch, you know, 300 points all the time, or, you know, rarely do I ever even try to do that. It just, you know, if it breaks to the downside, everything looks good. We have, you know, everything's on our side. Take the trade, TP1, you know, whatever, trail, and then boom, done. I'm good. Unless there's like a real reason for me to trail it. It's really not trying to squeeze more out of something that, you know, might have a double break or something. Alright, we got a speech starting. Yeah, so we broke out. You know, it looked good. I mean, it looked like it was gonna cruise down, and we kind of like just chopped around. Now we're like chopping at VWAP. I mean, it can still go down, but at this point, you know, it looks not really clean, and dealing with VWAP right there. I think there's gonna be a whole lot of volume. And like the other thing to you could also look at is like initial balance. So it's like this would be initial balance, since it's already been an hour after the market open. So we just had initial balance. So these are the initial balances, high and low. These are like also important areas to I mean, I think they're important. I mean, obviously they are important, but like, so yeah, initial balance, you know, it could be also like a point of retest. You know, you can see if we get a continuation, or if we're just gonna hold inside an initial balance as well. I'm not trying to say I think they are just because, or thinking that I think they are, just they actually are an important level. I don't want to sound like Peggy Hill trying to say something like intelligent, like it came from me. But yeah, so since, like, you know, now we're stuck inside the initial balance range. So if we were to have gotten like a breakout and then, you know, tested initial balance, you know, that could be a sign of continuation. but since we are kind of stuck in that bigger range, or not bigger range, but the initial balance, so we might kind of chop into it. Yeah, there's nothing to do. The speech already started. I mean, this is kind of a Monday. Yeah, overall point of control, or below point of control, overall bearish. Everything, you know, Scream is going down, but setup is kind of not there. I mean, there is a break and there's like a, you know, break and retest. I mean, there is that, you know, break, retest, close below VWAP, you know, write it down, I don't know, like 60 points. 90 points, sorry. That's something I was looking into, was the lifetime. Yeah, I didn't want to like price gouge anyone or anything like that. If you are interested in it, I know it'd be easier for like a lot of people, especially if they're like seeing value in it. And I'm gonna keep adding more and more stuff, more updates, and working on other projects. So there will be, and it'll still be added to your membership. So if that is something, it was something I was actually looking into. If anyone's interested, I mean, we could, you know, I could definitely look into more into it. But yeah, it was something I was considering. I just didn't want to throw it out there, and you know, I just didn't know yet. But yeah, if you guys are interested, if anyone's interested in that, I could definitely look into it and see what makes sense. Yeah, let's see what price does. I'm just curious. But yeah, we got the retest off point of control. So we'll see. Honestly, I'm probably not gonna trade this. I can't remember Apex's rules 100%. I think I can trade during speeches. I'm not 100%, but just be careful with your all prop firms. Sometimes you cannot. It is a big no-no. Does anyone know what time the speech ends? Like offhand? Yeah, I was just looking it up. It doesn't say on that Forex replay, or Forex replay, Forex Factory. All right, we'll see what see if price like goes crazy. That was the one thing I will say, if you do use Forex Replay, have Forex Factory open, because it will not show you speeches even if you have news events on. I had to go back and look at the days that those days I had news on them, or just, sorry, speeches. Yeah, price is kind of just chopping back and forth. It's gonna depend on what is said. Yeah, it's just kind of slow and choppy. Anyone thinking of trading anything like this? We're just gonna hold off for today. Yeah, looks like it's kind of cruising now. Making structure to possibly Previous day low. Cause it's also the previous week low, I'm guessing. Let me see. Yeah, previous week low. Alright, yeah, it looks like we're about to hit that previous low, previous week low. I know price could, if we start cruising now, probably, I don't know, let's see, we get to the 200s, realistically like 140. Yeah, so that was a good break and retest. Good break, retest, and you know, probably could have held like here would probably been in a good spot. That would have been actually a pretty good setup. Let's see. Something safe. Ugh, never mind. We have to go a lot tighter. Something like that would have been a good trade. A little tight, but not too bad. Instead of like VWAP, like right in the middle, and she's just kind of just chopping through it. When price is that close to VWAP, it can act like a magnet. So you want it to get like a little bit of ways from it. That actually shows a little bit of strength, because sometimes, yeah, when it's like that close, it'll act like a magnet and just kind of like do this, and then we get away from it and then it trends. If anyone's really noticed that. It has like a gravitational pull. It's not like a 21 EMA where like everything goes back to the 21 EMA. Like it, VWAP, it can pull away from it pretty far. It's not like a mean, or like not like a median, whatever, where like it has to go back to it. It can pull away from VWAP, but when it's close, it can act like a magnet. But not a magnet. Yeah, kind of like a magnet, but like you want price to kind of pull away from it. See, like kind of like here, kind of just chopped around and then broke like this, and then stuck here. Then boom, we trended, like we're trending and staying well below it. Then it's like once it gets in it, like it has a hard time, and then boom. Alright, so like on the 4 hour, we basically did like a wick test. Like we literally filled in the gap. And this is what I thought was gonna happen. I was gonna say it earlier, but we basically went wick to wick on this fair value gap and then just pushed up. So we might be done with this move. It's quite possible that we just start pushing up now. I mean, it'd be cool if we get to like 450 or like, what is it, 580. That could be definitely a target. At least test this 4 hour fair value gap, something like that. Could be wrong, but we literally just tested that wick. That's what I was curious about on the 4 hour. I think the 1 hour we should be pretty much like one more, I think. Yeah, previously though. But yeah, so we pretty much literally just filled in this gap. Like it just wicked it and wick to wick, then boom. So we'll see if price continues down or not. But I don't know if this is from a speech. I've been watching it. Looks like that was a pretty volatile candle. Just shot up like what, 70 points? 90 points in like 10 seconds. Yeah, it looks like we bounced off point of control, pushing through VWAP again. This price gonna go down. Yeah, I don't think much is gonna happen today. Now it looks like we're just chopping around, hanging around VWAP. Whole lot of nothing. Alright, looks like we're retesting orb again. See if we pop back in. Alright, see if that retest holds. Alright, yeah, so now we're back into orb. Is anyone watching the speech? I'll give it like 30 more minutes to see like what price does, but I don't know. I don't think there's gonna be like anything really to trade. Alright, pushing back into orb pretty aggressively. See if how we do with all these fair value gaps in, like, I guess midline. If price could break, I don't know how long it's gonna take, but like 560s, 600, I think we might cruise. The previous, like, you know, if we can get past this, go to previous AI, could be something. Is this from his speech? That's why we're getting all this pump. Is he saying crazy stuff? So we do have this like level right here. Like a SBR, support becomes resistance level. It's kind of minor, but see if we go through here, see what we do. Yeah, we're getting a lot of buyers. So we held that fair value gap pretty much to like the 50% line. Let's see. I don't know if you guys saw, I did add a couple of new things to the indicator. Show you real quick. I did add a 50% between TP1 and TP2. I can actually show you just all real quick. I did make some updates to the indicator. This is point of the control. You don't have to. You can ignore this dotted line. But I changed the TP1, TP2, how they look. Added what it is, so you don't actually have to look at this. You actually can tell from right here. The warning level will change a little bit. So this line, so if you adjust the TP detection, it will move within the box. Same thing with this one. And then I added a 50%, so you know 50% of your TP1. Yeah, that's kind of what it's for. Like to say, okay, I went 50%. Like say if a trailing drawdown like me. Or, you know, it's kind of like oh, we're at 50%. Should I go to break even? You know, that kind of puts you in that control of where we are in the trade. So I thought it was kind of, you know, just a little thing added. But I think that's pretty much it. Like I added the levels back so you can actually see the pricing. So you don't really, you don't have to look at this. You can see, boom, okay, this is where we are. If you need to like do it for any like other instrument or like any other indicator, you have it kind of like, you know, everything's kind of there. It tells you exactly what the level is at a glance. Yeah, it's something kind of simple. I thought it was, you know, you can also, you know, remove it at the very bottom. If you don't want it, just remove it. But yeah, I thought it was a, you know, little thing, so that way you don't like, oh, wait, how far are we into profit? Should I go to break even? Yeah, I think that was pretty much. I think that's all I really did to it. I removed a couple of things I didn't think it was very useful. I can always still put them, not really put them back. I can put them on the old version and upload that version. Everything else is pretty much the same. Yeah. So I just did a little bit of a see if this fair value gap holds. I mean, we are like, it looks like we are gonna start trending up. But okay, I'll show you real quick again. So like the TP1 hit detection. Okay, so you know how sometimes it'll say like 0.9 like to 1. So I just, you know, there's how, because it's really close to the edge here. So if you do 1, it'll be the middle. It'll be the middle of the box. So now you see how it moved the line, moved both lines. So you put it 10. So obviously this goes in tandem with this. So whatever this is. So if you do like 30, you know, you have to be 20. So you put 10. That's obviously because that's half of 20. I'll put it right there. That's for your hit detection. And also, yeah, obviously this will move with it, your 50%, and it'll adjust on here. So everything's connected to each other. But yeah, so if you want, like, if you want it to be more of the middle, just put 1. You got the middle now. And it'll just adjust with it. And it'll adjust the, it'll adjust like the TP system. Oh, sorry, the TP system. It'll adjust the P&L system. So yeah. A nice little addition. Just makes everything look a little bit cleaner. It's got, I don't think it's gonna close below VWAP. Yeah, this is, I wouldn't say tricky. It just, I don't want to fall into a trap because of the speech. Because it's getting like it's kind of getting not volatile, but it's getting a lot of volume. You don't want to get whipsawed. Yeah, because if this would have closed underneath, would have been a valid trade. That could have been a good entry, or a decent entry, but it's right at VWAP. Came back. And probably just play it safe. The orb is actually pretty big today. 163 for the average being 133. We've been kind of underperforming. Like we've been always like underneath the 5-day average. We're actually over it. I wonder if we're starting to expand again. Interesting. Yeah, I was curious about this, like This could have been a good trade. I don't know if that's asking a lot. Yeah, see if it holds, takes out this low, you definitely can cruise down a little bit. Yeah, it looks like that could have been a good entry. But something like this probably would have been a good trade. Looks like we kind of did the same thing here, where at the fair value gap closed the gap to the wicks, and then came down again. Same thing we did on the 4 hour. Same thing we did right here. There was no valid entry. We weren't aligned with VWAP. The closest that we got was right here, So if it would have closed underneath, it would have been a valid entry, or it could have been a valid entry. I don't know if it was a valid entry. It could have given us some type of entry, you know, A through F, whatever. Just we are like view up super flat, and we're just kind of like ranging back and forth. We were going up, and then we're just kind of stuck here. Plus, I don't know what if the speech is having any effect on this. I'm not watching it. Yeah, so the whole like not model, but like I guess it's gated. It's gating the trades. So for here, if we were looking at sells, price needs to close below. Like the breakout candle needs to close below. Same things for buys, the breakout candle needs to close up above. So if he walks down here and it closes up here, automatically, yeah, it's gonna be a valid, not valid, but it's gonna present a trade. It being valid is completely different. Like VWAP, breakout to the downside. So if VWAP was down here, like down here, and it broke out, it wouldn't show any grade. It wouldn't show nothing. It would just show nothing at all. It's kind of the key component of, you know, what if it could show a grade or not. I tested it without that, and it's horrible. I was curious. Well, since we have nothing really going on, does anyone have any questions about the indicator or anything? Yeah, so from from like the data, going with VWAP is always like a good idea. Just being on the right side of it, like it definitely does help. It definitely does improve the win rate. Because the last thing you want to do is be dealing with VWAP, because it could act like support and resistance. And like right now, we're kind of just in the middle of VWAP. Just kind of going back and forth, back and forth. That's what I was saying earlier, like, as we move away from VWAP, the trend tends to, we tend to have a trend. But when we're stuck in VWAP, really not doing anything, then we break, and then we ride the trend. Then it trends. So we want to, it helps to be on the right side of it, so we want to be above it, so we want to continue up. So you don't want to take an entry and then just try to be battling VWAP. Yeah, I think one of the simplest strategies, I think, like with orb is just follow the, be on the right side of VWAP. But yeah, if you notice, like when it's like we're in the middle of it, it kind of like chops, and then finally, trend. I'm not saying this is always the case, but see, like right here, there's actually a good example of what I was talking about. So we have a breakout to the top side, right? We broke out, hit VWAP, and just could not get past VWAP. All you're doing is just, if you would have taken this trade, say like, you're just like, oh, I'm not gonna go with VWAP. I don't care. I'm gonna take this trade anyways. Say you did, something like this, something like that, like 1-to-1. And you got to VWAP, and then you just kind of like could not break VWAP. It just held. And then we break out here, and then we have room, like we're away from VWAP. At this point, we hit it, came down, broke out, and then we just cruised. And like kind of like here, kind of just like riding VWAP and going back and forth. So like this is where it gets a little bit like hard as well. Like what I'm saying, like we're not away from VWAP, so we're just kind of like it's using it as like a magnet, just kind of like just chopping back and forth. So it's hard when VWAP's like flat. Like that's what we're dealing with right now. It's just a flat VWAP. Take all this is just flat VWAP, and just price is just kind of not going anywhere. And it finally breaks, you know, gets a good break, and then kind of just trends down, can't break it. Same thing, just flat. Then boom, trends all the way down, trending up. Not trending up, but like, you know, trending like that, and then flat again. That makes like somewhat sense. Obviously this is in, you know, we can look at the data in live price action, you know, it's a little different, they're hard to judge. It's easier to see the markets in replay than, you know, as you're trading them. It's obvious, but yeah, so like, you know, we have like, you know, we're above it, now we're in it, like right in the middle. So it's like, you know, from past price data, when we're in the middle of it, it usually has a hard time to break away. We'll eventually break away from it, but just right now we're kind of stuck in it. And also, I don't really know if the speech is having something to do with the price action, but we're, like I said, I'd rather be on the correct side of VWAP versus having to battle it. Because if I'm wrong, then I know the trade's wrong. This is just like, oh, okay, I'm going, you know, I'm taking the breakout, you know, say like took the breakout here. I don't know, something like that. Whatever, you know, say you take this trade, you know, it works. Break retest, it works. But I just don't want to be battling, you know, say like I had a wider stop, you know, just I want to go over midline and my TP is down here. I just don't want to be having to like, you know, you don't know if price is actually going to continue down, or if we're like, you know, we did make a trend up, we can be making the second leg of this trend. You know, we could get a push, pull back, push back up, or we could just have a continuation to the downside. But yeah, so this looks very, very choppy. So I wouldn't want to be in this trade and just trying to like, where do I get out? What do I need to do? Like this just looks kind of back and forth. And then you want to add VWAP to that mix of having to like, okay, well, yeah, when it's like this, it's like, I always think it's kind of, not funny, but like, I always think it's interesting. Like, you know, you're watching this in real time, and then when you look at it in the replay, you're like, oh, okay, the trade would have worked, but you're like, are you really gonna sit through that much chop? Are you gonna sit through like 4 hours of chop? It's kind of like, okay, either I'm gonna go at break even, or I'm just gonna like, as soon as it comes down a little bit, I'm just gonna take profit. It just, yeah, it's super hard. It's like to hold this. It's one of the things that's like, set a break even and set a TP and then just walk away. Just, you know, if you get like a notification on your phone, hit TP or hit break even, and you're like, all right. Like I want to say like a mini Head and Shoulders. Like That's what it looks like. I would say like a head and shoulders, or like a mini, like a almost like a triple bottom. Probably like more like a head and shoulders. I mean, it tried to go down multiple times. It really couldn't. See if bottom of orb holds again. Because it took out, which is interesting, so it came down, retested this fair value gap and just rejected it. Now we're back up. So see if we break through, test this one, and I would assume if we break this, then it's gonna just go, it should keep going up. There's really nothing after that point to hold it back. Because I would even say maybe like, let's see. Okay, yeah, so if you look here at the fib levels, we perfectly tapped the 618 level. So I'd say if we could break, yeah, if we break, like, we could easily break through. We just gotta keep, I would say break midline. And we could probably keep going up. I would say something like that. Let's see if we have problems at this level here. If not, I would like to see like a break, a retest of it, and a continuation. Something like that. These are just ideas. But you can see how he like perfectly balanced off that 618 level. It would be kind of nice if we like retested bottom side order. You can just write that to the top, but with this price action, I'll just wait. Okay, so I'm thinking, see if we break this high. Yeah, looks like I made a pretty good head and shoulders here. Alright, see if we retest and hold bottom side orb, or if we breaking out again. Yeah, let's see if this here, value gap hold. There we go. This is what I want to see. I want to see a retest of bottom side orb. We wicked into this fair value gap. I want to see a break higher, and if we can get over midline, I think that's where one of the fib levels was. I think that's a pretty good continuation. Could kind of go, you know, there's a thought of going aggressive here and, you know, entering at the bottom, riding to the top, or even at least to midline, but there's a couple ways to think about it. Alright, so see if we hold. Yeah, so that's kind of like the thought. Like we made a head and shoulders, right? We come up, we test that fib level. Can we break this high? Have a strong close, retesting the bottom side orb, and then can we make continuation? I don't know. It's gonna take a very long time probably to even get to the other side of orb. That's what I'm thinking. to even get a setup. It's gonna be like one of those late afternoon, possibly power hour. But the one thing you don't want to do is like hop in a trade, then boom, it just comes down and, you know, takes you out completely. You know, the thought could be like, wherever this closes, say like close it here, put it below this candle, so you have, you know, VWAP protection. So basically you have like almost like three invalidation points, but so you have like bottom side orb, VWAP, and then the below this candle and fair value gap, and you know, you could possibly write it to the top of orb. You just have to get through point of control and midline, and then just like this fair value gap. That shouldn't be that big of an issue. But that's, you know, that could be like a trade idea. We'd have to go through like a couple of things to invalidate it. With the speech, it could definitely happen. But under like normal circumstances, that's what I would be thinking if I were to take this trade. The only thing that's good is like you're not trying to catch a whole move, you're just trying to catch like, you know, just the top side of orb. Or like the other thing you could do is if you were to wait for midline, then from midline you could right at the top of orb and for the breakout. See, we made all equal highs, so we didn't actually break this high. That's what I was kind of wanting to see. See if it retests it again. Yeah, but I wanted to see the break of this candle. Like, I wanted to see the break of this high. Or, I mean, like, ultimately, yeah, you want to see the break of this one. Like, that's why I was like, if you wait for after point of control, because they're on the wrong side of point of control. But I'm saying this was like more of an aggressive entry. Like, if it would have broken and closed strong above, that would have been nice. Something like that. Oh, yeah, but that was more of like kind of an aggressive take on it. Like, something up here would like obviously be a lot better, but your risk, so like you would want to hold something like that. But yeah, it's just an idea. Kind of, you know, something you could do if you want to go like a little more aggressive. You could just go below VWAP, so you have like this little mini fair value gap, and then, or what's left of it, if there's anything left. I think it's big enough. Yeah, but for me, like, what this is like telling me, the failures, like we failed 3 times. not really like a whole lot on this side. So like I said, we hit the 618 level, held, we pretty much hit on the dot. We've tried 3 times to go lower, cannot go lower. We're above VWAP now, we're inside orb. You know, everything's kind of like, it has all the signs of like we want to go up. You know, we have like one more imbalance here. We have 4-hour imbalances. It's just getting up there, we're having a lot of trouble. And then like, so we hit this one last night, because actually I traded this, I think it was here, yeah. I traded around here, and I wrote it up to almost previous day low. I took that trade last night. Actually, I sent it in the Discord, like I sent a screenshot. Yeah, that was like at 9 o'clock last night. So it just seems like we're just getting a reversal. So we came back, came up, we retraced, and now we're pushing. So if we can just, you know, get over the point of control. I think we can definitely continue to the top side. This is just my analysis, could be completely wrong. Price is gonna still do whatever it wants. Also could be missing something on the bigger time frame. Isn't that financial advice? I'm just some guy on the internet. What do you mean? Like, do you mean like adjust it? Like the cutoff time logic? Oh yeah, so we already broke that, like what I was wanting to see. So let's see if it breaks this. Oh, so I just have it set to 13, which is, it's 1 o'clock my time, but yeah, there is right here, win rate cutoff time. You can set it to whatever, it'll still show all the setups regardless. That's just the the logic itself. Like it just shows everything, you know, if it's valid or not valid. I mean, sorry, if it's aligned with VWAP, it'll still show A through F no matter what. It's just a visual. This will actually controls the win rate itself. So if you have it set to it's set to my time, so it's set to 1 o'clock, or that's what 1300 is. So if you set it to, like, you know, for the, what do you call it, for the Chicago time, that's what it's set to for me. Well, not for me, that's what is actually encoded to the logic. So that's what controls that. So you can set it to whatever time. Correct. It will not be in the data sheet. So if you set it to 10 o'clock, which is about an hour and a half after the open, just do like, if you do 10:30, like 2 hours after the open, that's when you don't trade. 2 hours after the open, after the when the bell rings, the data sheet will not record anything. The P&L will not record anything. It won't track anything after that. Also, if you adjust the max, so 0, it means it will track all valid trades. That are, so if you have this set to, this is your cutoff time. So if you have it set to, I have it set to 1 o'clock. If you wanted to set it to like, you know, 3 hours after the open, you set it to like 11:30 or whatever. It won't track anything after that. This will track all valid trades. And with realistic trading on, 2 trades cannot be open at the same time, which what that means is, if I show you real quick, show you on a perfect example. Okay, so here with the realistic trading on, once this opens, it cannot track any of these trades until either it hits TP, or stop loss is hit. It cannot track these. These are ignored. If you have it toggled off, it will track all of them, which would inflate your numbers and make it like unrealistic. So either has to, 3 things can happen. Either TP is hit, the trade closes, the stop loss is hit, trade closes, then it can track a new trade. So if we were to like it tracked this trade, TP, okay, then it can track another trade. But so we never hit TP, it didn't hit TP until like down here. Actually, I can show you what that looks like. Okay, so I have this is like the auto trader I'm working on. So it opened here, and then it exited here. It didn't track any of these trades. It opened and then it closed because the SL wasn't hit. So the third thing that can happen is end of day. So if stop loss and TP were never hit, so I just chopped around to the end of the day, it would just be an end of day close. It would just close it wherever it was. So if it was like $10 in profit, it would just say, okay, we won $10. If we were in $30 drawdown, it would just say, okay, we lost $30 of drawdown. Or so yeah. So I have it. So basically, you could do either one. I don't really know why you would do the other one. It was just more of like a failsafe that I created in it. So just, you know, just to show it could do both. It's not like inflating numbers or anything. But yeah, so that's how it works. That's the realistic. So and if like and like I was saying, if you have the not realistic. Say you only want to do if it was 0, it tracks all trades. If you have 1, it only track 1 trade, 2, you know, etc. But it only can track it after TP or SL is hit. So like I said, say the first trade hit TP, it releases the like the slot for a trade. Then say like, okay, then this one was it could take this one, it will take this one. And then, you know, it would have taken 2 trades that day. And you'll see when it happens. I'll show you real quick. So you'll see when it happens. Because you'll see right here. There you go. It took 2 losses because it took 2 trades that day. There was, I think, what was it? Oh yeah, it took a trade, hit stop loss, and then it took another trade and hit stop loss. And then yeah, I think this one, yeah, this one took we had a double break, so it took 2 trades that day. So obviously we opened the trade, hit I think this was first, hit the stop loss, then it opened the second trade, and then it won. If you wanted to only trade track 1, you can do that. So if we do 1 trade, and then the table will adjust, it will only show 1 trade per day, or it would just be the first trade, first valid trade. So like here, that would have been the only trade. So yeah, you can adjust it to whatever time you want and how many trades. I just have it. This is from backtesting. This is what just was optimal. From here, you can definitely adjust it. I don't really trade after like 10, 30, 11 o'clock. We're actually pushing like the end of what I usually trade, like what I normally trade. Sometimes I'll have like an alert on, and it'll alert me like when we get a breakout, or Scout, the Discord bot will alert me. Sometimes I'll take it. Like we haven't gotten a breakout all day. Yeah, you can pretty much adjust it however you need, whatever fits you the best. I just went for the most I wouldn't say generic, but like the widest, that was the most optimal for the settings, that like kind of like umbrellaed everything. and work kind of the best, you can definitely fine tune it and get it to exactly how you need it. Yeah, for sure. Now you can use like, so the optimizer, or not the optimizer, the backtester is pretty close. The actual backtester is, I think I got it about 92% as accurate as the indicator. The issue is that the indicator is really complex, and it uses TradingView has its own engine, so that's why it's a kind of a little bit pain. Like on the chart, it takes the same, everything's identical, but for some reason when it like imports it into like their engine here, it like sometimes, I don't know, I tried like rebuilding the backtester, and it just, something with TradingView, it's just very weird. It's close enough to where it will give you what you like a correct backtesting result, but there's always a percentage of it being off. Even if it was 100% like identical to the to the indicator, it would still have a percentage of being off because of like how TradingView enters trades, like slippage and all that stuff. But yeah, I've gotten it. Yeah, no, it definitely helps doing it manual. But I've gotten it close enough where it's reliable. Yeah, just TradingView's engine is, I don't know, it's really weird what they use. The indicator is really accurate. But that works off a completely different thing, and it's basically running off my engine I built for it. What about the volume? Well, okay, so there's a lot of ways you can actually use it. So first, on the breakout, you can kind of gauge. So it's running off like volume off recent candle. So for me, because like, well, I created it, so I kind of know what's going on, but like, so, you know, if we haven't gotten a lot of volume, and then we get like a start, like, you know, it's gonna go look at these candles as the reference of how much volume there is. So you can kind of see, like, you know, here, okay, we got like a breakout, not a whole lot of volume. So the point of it is to see if the more volume, the more like selling pressure there is, the more likely price is gonna want to go. A big candle doesn't always mean high volume. A small candle can have high volume. So the kind of like let's see. Okay, so like on this breakout, we had 2.51 times. So okay, so since it's going off this right here, so there wasn't a whole lot of volume because it was pre-market and stuff. So we had these candles, and then boom, we had high volume. So that's what you want to see. It helps, you know, it helps validate, because when you use breakouts, because this is a breakout continuation model. Like the higher the volume, the more pushes behind it. But as you can see, let's see. So if you go to this one, so now we're at medium. So since now we're using this as reference for volume, it has these are higher volume, these are high volume candle, or we had high volume candles, so now the volume shifts. So now we're at medium, even though, you know, because I mean, it's a smaller candle, but so that initial push is going to have a lot of volume because it's right at the open, right around the open. And then you can see, like, so like as price kind of continues, as the session kind of goes on, the volume's going to die out for the day. I don't know if that made kind of sense. Oh, we got to actually set up. Oh, did it? Okay, so I think it went past 50 points. Oh, no, it didn't. Never mind. It's going off a... Oh, let's see. 2 contracts. I'll jump in this one. I'll jump in this one. Let me see.
Order submitted. Order filled.
I'll test this one out. Let's see, if we pop up, then, you know, I'm wrong.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Okay, so oh, you're already in. Nice. I was been paying attention. So it's going. I can't remember exactly. I would actually have to double check, but it's going off of the past X amount of candles. So it's looking at X amount, and then saying, okay, the average volume is X, right? So when we get like a higher, you know, like a spike, I guess you could say, it will say, okay, out of all these candles, this candle has higher volume or lower volume. It's not just pre-market. At the beginning of the session, yes, it is using pre-market, but as the session goes on, it will start using less of pre-market and more of the candles from like the actual session. Does that make sense? Yeah, so it basically, it's like we'll call it like 20 candles, right? It'll always look 20 candles back. So whatever candle where it's on, it'll look 20 candles back and look at the average. And it's saying, okay, this is the average, and then this candle is higher than the average or lower than the average by 2 times, 3 times, or 2 times, 1 time. Right now it's saying, you know, 0.336x. No, it's looking at the current candle. It's looking at this exact candle. It's looking, that's why it's changing live. It's changing because it's looking at this candle, the candle it's on. Everything is live, everything updates live. But it's what it's doing is it's looking at the past, I don't know, I'm just gonna say 20 because I don't remember offhand. It's saying look at the past 20 candles. And it has, okay, then it says it's like, I don't know, like 0.5. That's like the average, right? And then it's gonna look at this candle and saying how much compared to those candles, how much different is it? Or how much higher is it? How much lower is it? And as the candle progresses, it'll either show strength or show weakness, and then it'll average it out. And then when the candle ends, and then that's when the data it moves over. It moves up a candle, and it just keeps doing that. It's kind of like a moving average. Like it's kind of the same thing. Not really, but like it's how it moves with it in time. God, my chart looks crazy. I think, yeah, I'm gonna go to break even pretty quickly on this one, I think. Like, I really don't want us to break over VWAP. That would not be good. No, it's not. No, it's per candle. It's showing you like the actual what the candle is actually doing. That's why, as you see it, like right now, it changes. So it's representing this candle. Yeah, because if you go to like the 15-minute candle, let's see, 0.7, 0.6. Okay, they're about the same. But yeah, let's see how like they're down. They're different. It's like see if I do a 30-minute candle. Okay, it's too far. Yeah, so but it'll represent for that candle. Not a problem. This is such a risky setup. Yeah, we get to that 50% line. I'm break even. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna lower that stop loss. Probably 319. That's too bad. It's like a 1 to yeah. Yeah, really don't want to see, like I said, I don't want to see, I want to see this for value gap defended and VWAP. If we come back into orb, it's probably not good. Just make sure you do definitely have a stop loss just because of the speech. Yeah, so we haven't been making any like lower lows, but we made almost equal highs on the like in orb. We'll see. We haven't even like threatened midline. Let's see how this fair value gap holds. And on the other higher time frames, we're still pretty bearish. We're below point of control. Yeah, we'll see. I will say this trade has a lot of things going against it. Just how late in the session is during a speech. But we'll see. Let's see if the data holds up. That's like the other thing. It's like going back to like the backtesting. Like TradingView it can test 5 years of data in about 30 seconds. So I just kind of like take that with a grain of salt. I'm just saying, it's a lot of data in about 30 seconds. I think, yeah, I timed it, it's about 34 seconds. So it's like, there's gonna be mistakes. But I mean, in anything, even like when I backtest, like, I remember I was backtesting my old strategy. I backtested 2025 like 4 or 5 times, and every time I at least made 1 or 2 mistakes. Just like I put like the wrong entry down, or like I flipped the sell or buy, like. So it's like just human error there. But I mean, the only thing that's good, over 5 years of data, you can have like, you know, you can have about like 5 to 7% of error, and it not make a difference, because it's just, there's so many trades that like it's gonna wash out. Because it's like, even when you trade in real life, you're gonna make mistakes too. So it's like, even if you follow the plan 100%, like there's still gonna be mistakes being made, because there's human error. You're gonna enter late, there's gonna be slippage, there's gonna be something that like causes it. So like, there's nothing that's ever 100%. The biggest thing is just to know that, okay, I'm over 50%, I can make money. Like, it's, you know. Yeah, and like, I've heard of, like, I'm not gonna like name names or anything, I'm not like that kind of person, but like, I'm a big data person. I like data. Some people like 90 days. Like, if it works right now, that's what's working for me. And I'm like, man, it's one way to go about it. I mean, it's not wrong. But I just, like, so many things can change in 30 days or 90 days. Yeah, just because the markets evolve. Obviously, old data is not gonna, you know, it's old data, but like, if you can survive old data, if you can like survive, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, like, it shows profitability. I think that's impressive, because especially with our past 5 years with like COVID and like the rally in 2023, I think it was 2023 or 2025 was amazing. But like 2023 was like the I think there was like a tech boom. We had COVID, so it's like, it was a pretty tough 5 years. And I know for Orb, like, I think everybody had trouble with 2023, like, across the board. Not like traders, like, there's some people that can just sort of like trading gods. I meant as from like people who are backtesting, like trying to get the trying to get the edge down. 2023 was pretty tough. There was just no follow through. It would break and come back in, break, come back in. But yeah, that's why, like, for like the indicator, that's why I made sure like you could backtest it. It shows the P&L, like everything's like, data's all there. So it's like, I can tell you it's good, but I'd rather show you, and you have everything. Yeah, I think the indicator only made like 3K, something like that. It was the lowest performing out of like all the years. It made like $3,000, $3,500 or something like that. But when I was first doing backtests and I didn't have the settings dialed, it was red. Like, it was not making any money. But then after adjusting it and getting everything kind of dialed in, I was able to get it to be profitable. Not the best, but it was profitable. So, and like out of all of five-ish years, it's like 5 and change now. Everyone is green. They're all green years. I can't remember how, because it actually found out the like how many months, like out of all the months, like there was obviously there's red months, so there's not gonna be green months every month, but it did really well as far as being majority green. Obviously, it's really easy to find now. Like if you backtest, then you can just say, okay, how many, you can look at it and see how many months are green. We're almost at the 50% line. Okay, I think if we get to these lows, or like even like right before, I think I'm trying to go to break even. I'm not gonna like, just with price action right now, I just don't want to get like wicked like it's how it's doing right now. Yeah, this is what I was not wanting to happen. I'll give it a little bit of room, but no, I didn't. So I didn't add any logic. I just adjusted the settings. I basically ran it through my optimizer and ran combinations. I had it mostly dialed in, but just adjusting settings here and there. And what I did is I did it over 5 years, or the 5 years. I didn't adjust 1 year. So I just kept adjusting everything until everything kind of fit. Yeah, I'm like, that's what I was really worried about, was like, you know, because like I had, when I was first doing it, I didn't do 5 years. I was just doing 1 year, just to kind of get a baseline. And I got 2025 like crazy like profitable, but then every other tanked. Like every other was bad, especially 23 was horrible. Then I was like, okay, this is not the way to do it. Then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do 5 years at a time, or 5 years and do it from there. And that's what I did, and it worked so much better. It just took a lot longer. But yeah, so like I could make the win rate higher, but like it's gonna mess up a year or something. What the settings are right now are pretty much like a broad, it does good every year. Like I don't need to do a good 1 year and then make no money the next year. I want it to be like consistent. All right, I think I might go break even pretty soon. Just because where we are. Yeah, so like, yeah, I haven't added any new logic to this thing. It's more of like adjustments. But as of adding new stuff, it's like it kind of comes to the point where like adding more stuff is just gonna hurt it. It's just gonna restrict it too much, and it's just gonna kind of complicate it. It's gonna be too many things, like saying, okay, like, you know, adding too many things to say what's a good trade versus letting kind of like what it needs to have, like volume, direction, you know, orb size, like the key components. Letting it kind of do its thing. So no, yeah, I didn't add anything to like try to make it better because it doesn't need anything. It just adjusting the settings. So everything's kind of working with each other, not fighting each other. Yeah, because I did. There was versions that were like, I wouldn't say more advanced, but it had more stuff, and it just hurt it. It just was like, it's like killing the PNL, and so I had to like dial it back and like, okay, what does it need? And plus, I know ORB pretty well, so basically, like I kind of like put how I think into the indicator, kind of, and then use like made it better. Because it's like, it's a robot. It doesn't have human emotion. Let's see. If we push like past 90, I think I'm just gonna break even. Because I just don't want it to hit 50% and just completely reverse on me. Oh yeah, definitely. It's like, I just figured out what works and tuned it from there. I spent maybe about like a month or so probably tuning it. That's all I did. Just like settings, I just adjusted them all day. Well, not all day, but like the indicator was like, mostly built, mostly done. It was just trying to figure out how to make it better. And then like I would backtest, then I would go and verify. Okay, I was like, okay, are these settings like legit? Because things could look nice on paper and not actually be good. So it's like, oh, look how good it did, and then it's like, oh, there's a lot of things that are wrong. Like this isn't correct. Okay, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna go break even. Just, I'm not a huge fan of this trade to begin with. Like price, it's already like late, and price action is kind of like already dipping on. Like, volume's kind of like drying up a little bit, and we're at like this level, like where the 50% is. It's like this could reverse super easily. I mean, it could bust through. Like honestly, it could just like TP1, like no problem. Here we go. I'm just afraid like if we get an aggressive push, that we're just gonna like pull back. Okay, yeah, so that's what I wanted to see. I want to see that push. Just I'm afraid it's gonna wick. But I think it's like what, 50 points, I think. Yeah, I mean, like if we get like past maybe like the 60s, I think that I'm probably just gonna go to 50% and then hold, or I can just like trail one out and a lock in profit. Actually, I might just do that now. I'm gonna leave a lot on the table, but let me see how much that is. Like I'm kind of curious to see. $100. I don't know, I could do something like that. That's an idea. Like take half off at 50%. Take one contract off. Lock in $100. Damn it, I should have did it already. I might do that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that, honestly. Yeah, we'll do that. Cause I took a trade this morning, so I already made some cash. So it's like I don't need a home run here.
Order filled.
Okay, I'm out on one contract. Gonna trail one more.
Order submitted.
Seeing like that's one way you can use the 50%. Like I said, I'm not like liking this trade. So if we keep pushing, like I'm probably just gonna put my stop loss at 50% and just let it do whatever it wants. There we go, getting a nice push. I mean, just gonna throw that down there. Depends how we push down. I don't think I'm holding to TP2. That's way too far. I want to see us break this low at the 60s. Because I might just like go to top of this candle at like 300. Wait for us to like possibly break, retest, or if not, we just get continuation TP1, and then just put my stop loss at 50% line. The idea. That's crazy. I didn't think we were gonna get a trade today, and I thought we were gonna go to the top side. Completely wrong. Alright, this is kind of like the moment of truth here. Can we get past this level? Yeah, to be honest, well, I was like, okay, I'm up 300. Worst case, I could be like down like 100, or I could be up like 700, something like that. I was okay, so like to be honest, okay, so we came down, made like this head and shoulders, but we didn't threaten midline. We could not like break above, so like, and we broke like under VWAP and everything. But it wasn't a bad trade. Like, it made sense. But yeah, it looked like we were gonna go up. Okay, so yeah, so we can get past here. Would definitely like to go to the 50% line. But yeah, we had this push, chopped, really weird, like not weird, but like back and forth. Finally, we're finally getting away from VWAP, which is it's a good thing. So that shows that we could probably have a continuation. If we look at like over here, no, this is not what I wanted. Ooh, I don't want to get tapped out here. I mean, it has room to go. Get a little more room. Which one? Which fair value gap? Oh yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know. It's somebody's gotta trust it. Like I said, yeah, today it was weird. It was a weird price action day. Like, we had this nice move down, and then, but what I wanted to see, that's what I was talking about, like kind of earlier. Like this one would have been like aggressive. That's what I just wanted to see come up and then shoot back down like it did before. But yeah, like we didn't even threaten midline. So like we are at that 6. Like if we do this, it's probably gonna be a double bottom. If we continue up. So that's why I want to see this break, because this is the 618 level that we hit earlier. That's why I was like I said, I don't like this trade, like just because of this area, and I just didn't want to get like, I don't know if you've been seeing it, but like we've been getting kind of close to TP and it's been reversing. Like, just the levels are too strong. So I just didn't like want something like that to happen, and that this level is just holding. Like we cannot break this level. So I would like to see it finally broken. But that's why I was like, okay, I'd rather just take some off at the 50%, lock in some profits. If I get tapped out, it's not like the end of the world. But see, like, yeah, we're just like stopping right here. Can we continue to go down? Yes, for sure. But it's also late in the session. It's already 11:30. It's about to be like, yeah, once it hits noon, it's gonna slow down like crazy. Like in 30 minutes, it's gonna start slowing down for lunch. Then probably pick up for, you know, like power hour and everything. Like the 2 time. Like 2 hours after noon. But yeah, so, you know, obviously, you know, the indicator is, you know, it picks the levels, but there's also these, you know, these price levels that are just like holding, and then, you know, you don't want to do this again, because like every time we've done it, got here, shot up, got here, shot up, you know, it looks like we're gonna do it a third time. And we have not broken this low yet. We broke this, you know, the internal low, came down, made a low, made this high, made a, you know, new internal, made like, you didn't break this internal low, or this internal got broken, but we still haven't broken this actual low. The only thing that I do like is like we are trying to like get away from VWAP, so that's good. And point of control is up here. We are in line with the higher time frame, being you know, going down. Oh, I don't like this PA at all. This is horrible PA. That's why I was like, I'll take my $100 for sure. Like I'll take my, like, you know, for sure to get my one contract here. And so I was hoping to at least make it down to like below the 50, so I can just put my stop loss here and, you know, let it do whatever it wants. Yeah, honestly, I might just get out early. Like if we are having trouble, just take my little win. But yeah, it's like, you know, somebody gave you $80, you're not gonna say no to it. That's like the hardest thing about trading. Yes, we can make a lot of money, but it's like when you see like, you know, $100, you're like, oh man, I can make 200, 300. And then it's like you don't take the 100 and like you go break even. You're up $100. You're trying to make 300, but like you let that $100 go, and then like now you have nothing. You didn't make any money. That's like the hardest part. It's like those, you know, I think trades by Matt is like base hits, and I like, yeah, it's super true. Like it's a very valid point. I think it happened last week. I was up like I don't know, a couple $100, and I ended up going like 80. Like I made like $80. I mean, it's fine, but I saw the price action. The price action was right in front of me saying like get out, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna hold, and then got cooked. Yeah, so it's like this is kind of saying like, yeah, probably should get out. Yeah. If it gets like, I don't know, like $50, I'll probably just get out. But this is like reversing signals. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I think I'm about to get out of this trade and probably call it for today. Just price action is bad. I mean, hopefully you guys made some money. you know, like I said, I used that 50%. You know, it was a good call. But yeah, I'm gonna close this trade.
Order filled.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll get it. Still at 450 on the day. Like I said, I took a trade earlier. I made 300, so I made 150 bucks. I mean, it's not bad. Still green, even with this kind of like bad price action. It could definitely go to TP1 still. Just I'm not trying to roll that dice right now, with it being almost noon. But alright guys, I will see you tomorrow, and hopefully, I mean, we ended this, we have one more day left in this month, so we'll see if we can close strong. Yeah, at least we got a trade today. At least we didn't have to, at least we sat around waiting for about 2 hours and got something. So alright guys, I will see you guys tomorrow.